So, after the unfortunate event regarding Charlie Kirk, despicable, absolutely unacceptable behavior from the person that shot the guy, absolutely unacceptable. After that event, there's been reactions from both sides. People on the right calling the Democratic Party and people on the left evil and they want to eradicate them. And people on the left, prominent figures, totally condemning this. Now that the dust has actually settled a little bit, now it's actually talk to actually see how can you actually bring down the rhetoric and bring down the level of political violence. But unfortunately, it's again only one side. This actually seems to understand this is a problem on both sides. People on the left are admitting and advocating for some level of like a step back from both sides to reduce this level of political violence. But people on the right, yet again, seem to think it's all being stoked and it's all happening from the left, and people on the right are not contributing to it. That's the problem. And right here, we're about to see the prime example of that on Piers Morgan. But before we jump into that, if you're new around to this channel, it will be massively appreciated if you drop a like on the video. And also, if you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Let's get right into it.
I mean, how prescient, Batty, those comments seem now, because that's exactly what has happened here. What's your reaction to Charlie's murder, and how do you feel about the way things may go from here?
Thank you so much for having me, Pierce. It's obviously still very raw for a lot of us. I'm finding myself very caught between, on the one hand, wanting to honor his legacy of unity through debate and coming together to take down the temperature, and then wanting to honor his legacy of telling the truth. And the truth is, this is not a both sides issue. The killer killed him, according to police reports, because he found Charlie Kirk to be spreading hate. This is a view shared by every single prominent Democrat. Yes, there are people on Blue Sky advocating for violence, but what actually caused this was the utterly quotidian, utterly ubiquitous demonization of the political opposition from the left. And it has just led to violence because they said the other side were Hitler and Nazis. They said that speech is violence. To combine those two things together is to sign the death warrant of prominent conservatives. And that is what we are seeing again and again and again. And it is utterly facetious to suggest that there is any comparison between political violence on both sides.
This is unbelievable. If you check the stat, you would see most of the political violence happens from the right. Anyone that actually cares about this will literally see this. The fact she's saying this, she's either just plain-faced lying, or she's so ignorant and she doesn't really care that she just doesn't even bother to do any research. The idea, if you're going to make a claim that this is a left issue on the right, hunting the conservatives down, then you should check the stat and see most political violence, where they're actually happening from. Most happens from the right. And this is the problem. The fact they believe they're just saints and they don't have anything that actually affects political violence in that country. Genuinely, it's amazing how delusional these people are. Honestly, it's so delusional.
Example they bring is not actually showing that, whether it's Governor Shapiro, whose attempted assassination was from a Free Palestine leftist, or whether it was the Minnesota assassinations, which were from somebody who said he was operating at the behest of Democrat Governor Tim Walz. There is a culture among Democrats.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Okay, he had a list of Democrats he was gonna kill. And also, number two, this guy voted in the presidential candidate primary for 2024. He voted in the Republican, for the Republican candidate. He voted in it. This idea that this guy was some leftist, it's a lie. It's a fabricated lie. It's such a lie.
At the highest level, to suggest that their political opposition are a danger, and that suggests that their lives are forfeit. And I want to come together. I do. I love what Shank said. It brought tears to my eyes. I had to reach for a tissue while you were playing Charlie's words. But at the same time, we cannot unite with people who are lying to our faces about who we are, who will not take responsibility for the fact that they suggested that we are Nazis because of totally legitimate views that reflect the majority of Americans. So what I say is, let the left say we were wrong. It is legitimate to vote for Donald Trump. It is legitimate to be pro-life. It is legitimate to believe that there are only two genders, and we were wrong to suggest that that was not the case. We were wrong to say that that is hateful. When they say that, I am waiting with open arms to take down the temperature.
The worst part about this, right, what she just said, don't know if you know this, but this person, we don't even know the motive yet. Obviously, at first, right, this person was caught after 33 hours. So that gave a long time for people to actually make assumptions. If you look throughout X, the reaction from the right is Democrats are evil. This is war. This is a party of evil. These people want to erase us. Like famous prominent figures on the right literally saying this without knowing who this person is, without knowing what political stance they have, without even knowing the motive. Right now, we still don't know the motive. The idea that this guy was just some leftist Democrat, they were even assuming this person was some trans anti-fascist person. Now, there obviously have been evidence that came out to say this guy was anti-fascist. But the problem is, he also, in his weird writing, also had something that says, if you find this, you are gay, LMAO. Which leftist will ever say that? That clearly shows some level of conflict between saying this person is a leftist and yet saying if you find this, you are gay, LMAO. No leftist will ever say that. It makes no sense. We still don't know the motive yet. The idea that this person was a deranged democratic leftist is absolutely crazy. And these people, without even knowing who this person was, without having no information, they were already criticizing and calling the Democratic Party evil. The left is evil. How do they not realize they're also contributing to this? Your president came out, started battering the other side without even knowing who even committed this crime. And you don't think you're playing any part in this?
Lewis Goodall, you are on the left. And the one thing that's really struck me about this, I don't dispute for a moment that there are people on the far right that commit a lot of acts of violence and can be equally hateful. That's my personal view. But I have been truly shocked, genuinely truly shocked, by the sheer enormity of brazen, dehumanized calls on social media from people on the woke left, the sort of far left, which has been calling themselves progressive, but in my view are the opposite. But how they've reacted to Charlie Kirk's death, we've got a little mashup of some of it.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah, ooh.
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier.
I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
Fucking stoked right now. You wanna know why I'm so fucking stoked?
Fucking yeah!
CK got AK'd. And he's gone.
He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights.
We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck.
Why would you use TikTok? What a stupid thing to do. What a stupid way to make your argument. Do you think this is just what? Like a left thing? No, this is stupid people's thing, okay? Like if this was done on the other side, you would find people on the right that are doing exactly the same thing. What a stupid thing to do. Go on TikTok. You might as well just go on Twitter and go find some of White Paper My Dad 99 Twitter account and then check what the history is. When this makes no sense at all. You can literally do this on both sides. This is not left versus right thing. It's just stupid people's thing that react to really bad situations. That's it. It makes no sense at all. You might as well go on Twitter and go find every single tweet that is literally celebrating this and then prove your point. But that makes no sense because it's just random people. Who the hell are these people? Of course you're going to find people that are stupid and do really stupid things. It doesn't prove anything.
There are hundreds, thousands maybe, more examples like this. But we've seen teachers, we've seen hospital executives, we've seen people who want to run places like the Oxford University Union, for example, and so on, all coming out with similar gleeful celebration at the murder of a 31-year-old father of 2 young children. I find it utterly despicable, but also quite terrifying, actually, that they're so brazenly doing this. What is your reaction to that?
Well, Piers, my reaction is that I think it's reprehensible. And I think it is part of a much wider pattern of behaviour, driven by partly social media, but in particular the hyperpolarisation of American politics, which is part of a big trend of legitimising violence, of making violence an acceptable means of prosecuting your politics. Where I would disagree, possibly with you, possibly with other members of the panel, is that this is somehow just confined to the left, or the idea that this is just happening on the left. Yes, there have been examples of that. We've just seen it just now. I was disgusted at the reaction to what happened with Luigi Manzioni earlier in the year. Very similar sort of phenomenon.
Yeah.
But let's see where it's happened in other parts of the right. Do you remember what happened with Paul Pelosi, for example? Nancy Pelosi's husband almost killed to death. What was the reaction of not just some random left-wing accounts, not some teacher, not whatever, but Don Jr., Donald Trump Jr.? He decided to put out a picture of a hammer and some underpants and say, I've got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume tonight. This is the wider legitimization of violence that we're seeing. And let's just have a look. I mean, let's talk about some accounts that I've been looking at. You've been horrified what you've seen on Twitter, some stuff I've seen on Blue Sky, some stuff I've seen on X over the course of the last 24 hours. Liberals can never be allowed to run this country again. How can you coexist with people that want to murder you? If you vote Democrat at this point, you're a demonic, evil person. I will support whatever saves our country. Trump has a blank check as far as I'm concerned. I could go on, I could go on, and I could go on.
By the way, these tweets were tweets right after the whole incident. No one knew who did this. No one knew who this person was. No one knew the motive. No one knew anything about this guy. But he just assumed, it's just Democrat. And now you're talking about rhetoric and messaging and calling you Nazis. It's feuding violence. What you've done is literally doing the same thing. Without knowing whether this person is a Democrat, you automatically assume the person that did it is a Democrat. So they're evil and the one is dead. So maybe they deserve to die. You are literally doing that, but they won't admit. That's the problem. You can literally tell them right now, why did these people say this without knowing whether this person was a Democrat? And they still would dismiss it. And that's the problem right there. On the left, it is an issue. But these people literally act like it isn't an issue on their side. That's the problem.
I could give a list of all of the many occasions we've seen in recent years of right-wing, hard-right, far-right terrorism that we saw against what happened in Minnesota. I mentioned Paul Pelosi, Josh Shapiro. In fact, I disagree with just as a matter of fact. Investigators found in the Shapiro case online activity and writings that included extreme right-wing, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and rhetoric against Shapiro, who is, of course, Jewish and a Democrat, and in Michigan. And even in the last 24 hours or so, what do we see from Laura Loomer on Ilhan Omar, the Democratic Congresswoman, Laura Loomer being a very senior MAGA person? At the end of the day, everyone needs to realise that Ilhan Omar is a bloodthirsty Muslim terrorist sympathiser who has no place in our country. Her presence in Congress is a national security threat, and she's an enemy from within. So please, the idea that there is some sort of asymmetry on this, the fact of the matter is, America and indeed the UK as well, we've got into a really negative cycle here, where basically the temperature goes up and it goes up and it goes up. And then sometimes some of the people who are responsible for that turn around and go, God, I can't believe it's so hot in here. Everyone needs to pull back from the brink. Social media needs to actually be reformed and needs to be changed. Elon Musk has been pretty responsible for some of this stuff that we've seen as well. So let's not pretend. If we pretend that this is just a problem of the left or of liberalism or of wokeism or whatever you want to say, this problem is not going to be any better or get any better. Let's use this as a moment for all of us to look within ourselves and decide to be better.
And that's the point. Stop trying to make it seem like this is just an issue on one side. This is never going to get fixed because the people on the left are just going to feel like they're getting blamed for everything whilst you never admit you have any fault. That is totally unfair. The rules we have, that everything was set, the moral codes, like this only work if both sides are actually recognizing it and following it. It's unfair to set a rule for one side whilst the other side are breaking it and they don't even follow it in the first place. That's totally unfair. You're never ever going to get a level of cohesion. He literally said it. It is a problem on the left, but it is also a problem on the right. It's both sides. But what do they say? No, it's just the right. It's just the left. It's just a problem on the left. You're calling those Nazis. You're calling them fascists. That's what's leading to violence. Well, if that's the case, more of the violence happens from the right. Can you explain that?
Okay, well, we've been joined on the panel by PBD Podcast's Angry Patriot, Vincent Oshana. Vinny, great to have you back on Uncensored. I'm sorry it's in such awful circumstances that we're talking on this Friday. But your response to what Lewis Goodall's just said, that this is a problem on all sides, that political violence has been ratcheting up and that there's a collective issue that needs to be dealt with.
Well, Piers, thank you for having me, and hello to everybody on the panel. Piers, I'm sorry, but trying to compare a photo of a Pelosi hammer for a Halloween thing to somebody getting shot in the neck in front of his family at a campus is unbelievable. The fact that you're trying to make the two comparison is absurd, okay? And if we want to, since you're on the left and you have those beliefs, give me something that the left is positive about. Because from what we're seeing, they're pro-abortion, they're pro-celebrating assassination, they're pro-open border. Give me something positive that the left is running on. Because at the end of the day, they're at the Democrats' 35-year low approval rating. And Piers, I have to go a little bit deeper. I have to go, this isn't about left, this isn't about right. Charlie was a proponent. He was a Christian praising Jesus Christ everywhere that he went. And I think that's where we are, Piers. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12 says, "For we not wrestle with flesh and blood," Piers. It's principalities, it's evil, it's dark forces in high places. And it drives me crazy, Piers, that we've gotten to this point. And when Tim Walz and these people are like, well, I woke up, I wanted to hear bad news. Hearing TMZ lying when their freaking people are back there cheering of a murder of a guy that did what, Piers? He went to college campuses. He was peaceful. He just wanted to have a debate, a conversation. And
Bro, oh my God. Honestly, you're talking like, listen, no one should ever get killed over the political beliefs, okay? Absolutely not. But my God, isn't this the same guy that literally said if he was on a plane and he saw a black pilot, he would be in fear, he would be scared and skeptical because he would think that person got there through DEI, a black person. Genuinely, like, bro, the idea that this guy was just a saint, all he did was talk in school and went home, that is crazy.
it is the left, okay? When Joe Biden got diagnosed with colon cancer, who was celebrating? How many thousands of people were out there praying and hoping for this guy to recover? Okay, no, there's something that's captured, Piers. That image, that montage that you played, did you see the eyes of these people?
Yeah.
They are captured by something dark, and they don't even know it, Piers. That's where we are. And I want to say something, Piers, before I give it back. Charlie was not murdered. He was martyred. And I want to say this in the Bible, and I'm sorry, I never was this guy, Piers, but we're at the tipping point. We are here, and we have to understand that it's God or you're on the opposite side. And Revelation chapter 6, verse 9, 10 basically says, when a martyr's blood hits the throne of heaven, it turns the vengeance of the king towards the evil ones on earth. So for all the people that want to get mad and do something, stay calm and be easy, because God, at the end of the day, Piers, has vengeance on all these people that are spilling innocent blood.
Are you really saying that the American right, the Trump right, MAGA, has not got a problem with political violence?
Are you comparing us, who, by the way,
no, I'm asking
for
whether
how many years have 10 years? Hold on. Are you comparing the two? Hold on. I'm not saying that the right doesn't get violence, but show me where they're celebrating the murder of a father on a campus. Give it to me. Who celebrate Luigi Mangione, where he's in magazines and girls want to marry him and want to be with him?
No, you just have the president of the United States son. You just have the president of the United States son tweeting out a picture of a hammer, making fun of a guy who nearly got killed because of a right-wing maniac. Please do not tell me that somehow one side is more moral.
You see the problem here? They're using some stupid, retarded TikTok accounts, okay? That's what you're saying, oh my God, the left is celebrating, Democrats are celebrating it. No, they're not. Okay, these are stupid people on stupid TikTok accounts. You can find stupid people anywhere, no matter how bad an event is. You can always find stupid people that you might as well use comments then. You might as well go on like TikTok account and go on Twitter and actually find comments and actually look, people in the comments are celebrating it, so therefore Democrats are celebrating it. That makes no sense. But then you check the other side, the person he's referring to celebrating an event that was catastrophic on the left. Who is the person? The son of the president, celebrating someone that almost lost their life. Son of the president. Now tell me someone equivalent on the other side. None. You have to refer to people that are using TikTok. How stupid is that? You might as well use comment sections then on the YouTube videos, on the TikTok accounts, on the Twitter. It's so stupid. It's not even comparable at all. Not even comparable.
Morally superior than the other. This is not.
No.
And just while we're talking about, excuse me, sir. While we're talking about political violence,
doing the assassinations?
What about January the 6th? What about January the 6th, where a MAGA mob decided to try to use violence to overthrow democracy? That is the definition of the legitimization of violence in the political process.
How many people? Excuse me, since you're such an American historian, how many people died on January 6th?
To know what happened on January
Ashley
6th,
Babbitt,
which was,
a fellow
4 years
United
ago.
States Air Force, excuse me, let me finish. A United States Air Force veteran got shot subsequently in her freaking neck. Why? Hold on. Why? Because she was unarmed and she was advancing to a hall. Please, I'm 100% with you. I don't condone any violence, but the comparison is not even close to what the left does.
So let's have some statistics from your own government.
They promote it.
Let's have some statistics from your own government. These are your own government statistics. Now, I know you might not want to listen to the facts, but this is the facts. A study from the US government itself says that the majority of political violence in the United States occurs from the right, not the left, from the right. We have also seen in my own country what happened with the assassination of a Labour MP, Joe Cox. We saw what happened in Norway with Anders Behring Breivik. All violence on the right. I do not say, as you seem to say, sir, that one side or other is morally superior to the other. I do not say that there will not be political violence on one side or the other. What seems, and I find curious, is your belief, your fervour, that somehow one side of this debate is uniquely morally repugnant and one is superior. The statistics are wrong. That's not right. Doesn't support what you're saying. And the fact after fact after fact, and occasion after occasion after occasion, shows the same thing. And like I say, January the 6th itself was literally the legitimization from your side of political violence at the highest of levels. And what did Donald Trump do? When he got back into office, he pardoned the North, sending a message that political violence is fine.
Excuse me, are you in the United States? Are you an American
citizen? I just returned from the United States, as a matter of fact, but I don't need to be in the United States to know what happened on January the 6th.
Are you an American citizen?
No, don't know what that's got to do with the price of fish.
Are you an American citizen?
Nope.
No, I want to ask you a question because you're looking down and you're reading stats and facts, and I don't know where the hell your sources are from. But guess what? As an American, from seeing what they did, excuse me, I let you talk. Please let me talk, okay? From what you mean to tell me what the left, your darling left, has done to the Republican Party and Donald Trump alone for 10 years, the calling for violence, the Hitler, like Batya said, all the negative rhetoric, to the impeachments, to shooting him in the head, and him saying, I want peaceful protesting, and then the FBI informants, all the confidential human resources inside the freaking crowd of January 6th, that's a whole different argument, debate that you don't want to get into.
Okay.
It's absolutely insane. You see the difference here? The person, the person advocating for the left is clearly telling you this is a problem. We admit it. But it's also a problem on the other side. It's a problem from both sides, but they don't want to admit that. And that's the problem. They would never admit any fault. You ask them, what do you think on January 6th? Do you think it was wrong? They'll probably say no. These people still don't believe Trump lost the election in 2020. They still don't believe it. They still think it's an inside job. You ask them, do you think it was fair that Trump pardoned all the people that were in the protest on January 6th, they'll probably say yes. Is that not inciting? Is that not encouraging violence? How is that? How do these people not understand that they're also actively participating in this? I don't understand. And that's the difference. He's clearly admitting there is problems on both sides. But these people, they seem to think, oh no, it's just a problem on your side. Your guys are the ones fueling violence. And then they reference people on TikTok to show evidence for that. What a stupid way to do things. You might as well go on comment sections to go read out what people are saying and they say, oh, look, people in the comments are celebrating it. So therefore, Democratic Party is celebrating it. What a stupid thing to say. But you know, this is just the problem right here. Until these people on the right actually realize that they're also actively contributing and stoking the level of rhetoric that's causing violence, nothing is ever going to get solved, because it's totally unfair for one side to always walk the line whilst the people on the other side just break it every single time whenever they want something. These people don't care about any moral grounds. They don't, okay? You can clearly say they do not care. They will support January 6th. They will support other pardons. They will do everything, but they will never admit fault. And until they can actually admit fault, nothing is ever going to get solved, because it makes no sense. The reason why we have moral codes and moral rules is because both sides need to follow it. If both sides are not following it, it totally makes no sense. But that's just my thoughts. I will leave it right there. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and also drop a like on the video.